post-pump clarity. This is the first recorded episode of post-pump clarity. The purpose of this is to be a response to my inconsistency with journaling. I've always loved the idea of journaling, and I do journal very occasionally. But it's only when I really have to get something down and I'm struggling to sleep normally. This is to be a place where I pull a thought from my head and elaborate on it for 10 minutes. Sometimes I do these thought experiments in my head, but there's a difference between pulling something from your head and putting it into the world compared to having something in your head and thinking about it. There's a certain level of vocal clarity and grammatical skill that goes along with speaking an idea compared to thinking it. And when you think it in your head, you're able to move quickly, get distracted, and use partial sentences. I feel like a dedicated practice of talking about a subject matter would be useful. And so I'm going to try to do it after every gym session for the next year. I've already done some, but they were more of a practice. They were playing with the concept. I listen to a fair amount of podcasts, and listening to people that podcast regularly, they have a certain sharpness and flow to how they talk, which I enjoy. I also feel like being able to take an idea and pull it apart is pretty fun and useful. On the unreleased episodes of this show, or project, maybe I'll call it a project, I always started with an idea, and when you pull the idea apart, sometimes you end up somewhere completely different, and sometimes you end up pulling sometimes you end up arriving somewhere that is kind of fun, and sometimes it clarifies ideas that you have in your head. I also enjoy writing, but for me, writing, because of my dyslexia, it's not really writing. It's using speech to text to create a word flow that is enjoyable and attractive to my brain. And I feel like the time between leaving the gym and getting home is the only point in my day where I feel free enough and mentally settled enough to do this. Settled in a way where I feel good. We'll see. It's going to be fun listening to these.